Mothers-in-law. Hi, I'm Franklin Medrado, and today we're gonna talk about weddings that were ruined by mother-in-law.
In my whole 22 years of life, I have never witnessed a more insane mother of the bride than this woman. My friend, the bride, was like, I want to have a very chill wedding. I don't want it to be crazy. The mom is like, heck no, we're doing an over-the-top wedding because I never got one. Okay, Miss Thing. Okay. So we get to the wedding day, and at this point, the mom has planned this $50,000 extravagant event. Everyone's getting ready, and in walks this insane makeup artist. Customarily, the bride always goes first because hers is going to take the longest because she's supposed to be the most beautiful. No. This mom just sat down in a freaking chair first. The makeup artist had to spend so much time on her makeup, she only had an hour to do the bride. The mom does the same thing with the hairstylist. Of course, I'm fuming. Then it gets even worse. So we get to the ceremony, and for some reason, they have it set up. The family walks down, the bridesmaids walk down, then the mom walks down right before her daughter. Tell me why this mom is walking down the aisle right before her daughter. Like, what? So all the bridesmaids are just like standing at the end of the aisle. The officiant is like, all rise, which you're supposed to do for the bride. This mom starts walking down the aisle holding a bouquet of flowers. She was wearing a freaking wedding dress. Can we all agree that we as parents are gonna be better than this? That's it.
I think that I have a theory because some mothers-in-law were frustrated with their own marriage, so they are trying to remarry. Makes sense for you? Letting my ex-mother-in-law dictate pretty much everything. It stopped being our wedding and became her wedding, and she was crazy. The whole wedding was no longer focused on my wife and I, but my mother-in-law handing my wife off to me, which is really ironic because after that moment, mother-in-law became even more controlling some things she did. She had a mommy and daughters dance. That's weird. Moment for a mommy dance. Why? Made a 30-minute long speech about raising my wife, including playing several inappropriate babies video. I can understand the willing to show the baby videos to everyone, but the wedding is not the moment, okay? Made a toast to herself. A toast to herself. I wanna propose a toast to me. I'm a wonderful woman who raised a wonderful woman who is marrying just garbage. Cut the cake with my wife. That's weird. Cut the cake with my wife. This is a thing that the couple are supposed to do together without parents. Tossed the bouquet herself. Tried to outcast my small family, part of 6, to the corner. Departed the wedding in our limo with us. She wants to go to the honeymoon too? Can you imagine you in your honeymoon doing that and your mom? Honey, is everything okay? I'm hearing some noises. This is the weirdest one. The bridal lingerie, he literally said mommy's girl. Okay. Why?
And I can't wait for everyone. You
Very well, thank you.
You're not going to say my son has flaws.
We can leave. Perfect.
No, I don't have to leave. That dress you're wearing, we've paid for.
Let's calm down.
You're not going to ruin my
You
day.
are not going to say my son has flaws.
This is the problem?
Wow.
Everybody has flaws, and that's why I love them. You can leave,
Yeah.
Judy.
Like you don't have flaws.
You can get out of my wedding.
Fine.
That dress you're wearing,
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
paid for.
Let's get this.
Get out.
I'm not getting out. Try it, and I'll have you arrested.
We're in a church.
Tony, get her out of here. This is not right.
Church.
Tony.
This is not. Let's respect the wedding.
I'm not leaving.
Just hold your
You
peace.
show respect.
Please,
You
hold
left your
peace.
daughter at
Let's
12.
just calm down. Let's say, hey, we don't need this.
This is why.
We don't need this.
I don't want to hear these flaws about
This was the weirdest video I've seen my entire life because the problem... okay. The problem here is that the wife said something about flaws and her mom said, you will not say my son have flaws because my son have not flaws. What's the problem with this mom? My worst bridezilla story.
One of the most asked questions that I get as a wedding photographer from people who are not in the wedding industry is if I have ever had any bridezillas. I market to a specific type of person, so I don't really have any bridezillas. But
Thank
I have
God.
a story about one of my very early on wedding days, and the bride and groom were wonderful. They were great, but it was the groom's grandmother and mother that were an issue. So apparently the groom's grandma had been doing photography on the side, and listen, she wasn't like super old. She was probably like upper 60s, maybe early 70s, and she had been doing photography and I guess taking like family photos, senior photos, all of that stuff, and she took their engagement photos too. Apparently she was super pissed that they did not ask her to photograph the wedding. I remember getting to the church right away in the morning, and the bride and groom were not there yet. They were still getting ready at a salon or wherever they were at, and I remember someone walking around, and my husband was second shooting with me, and someone was walking around like taking photos of the church and like details, and I was like, who else is here? Like, did they hire someone else? I'm so confused. So we went up and talked to grandma. Didn't know it was grandma at the time, and she actually would not give me the wedding rings because she was like, you're gonna lose them if I give them to you. She also told me that she was gonna be standing at the front of the aisle when the bride was walking down, and there was nothing I could do about it. There were countless times throughout the day where she would step in front of my camera intentionally just so I couldn't get the shot, so she could. And I don't think I ever really got a shot of her without a camera in her hand, which, you think about it, like looking back on these memories, like she's just gonna have a camera in her hands or a camera up to her eye the entire wedding gallery. I guess the mother also was doing photography and wanted to help out and be the second shooter. So they were both pretty upset with the bride that they hired me instead of asking them to shoot the wedding day. My husband's charmer, so he actually kind of took care of them throughout the day. I avoided as much as possible because they were being super passive aggressive towards me. And by the end of the night, I had to take some breaks to like just step outside and get away from everything because I was getting so frustrated. I remember feeling I've never felt more unwelcome at a wedding than that one. So yeah, no real bridezillas, but that's probably my top story of someone with that type of attitude that I've had.
For me, I don't like to hire family for events because usually we get some problems and it's easier to solve them when they are not family. It's better to hire random people with talent. It's not random. People with talent that is not okay, you got it. When you've been waiting 6 months to do a wedding dress reveal for your bridesmaids. Okay. And your mother, oh, okay, she didn't ruin it. She was trying to, I don't think she ruined it. She was trying to leave you alone for you to have the full attention of your friends and bridesmaids. The problem is that this picture tells the opposite. Mother-in-law who wanted to be the bride. This is the bride or mother-in-law? I don't know. Okay, now I got it. This is the bride, this is the... Oh, why? Oh, we have a comment of the bride. I was young and naive. I guarantee that if that were happened today, there would be a huge red wine stain covering that dress. Did you know she was going to wear that, or did she just show up in it? Also, what kind of psycho wants to be the bride at her son's wedding? I had no idea. And the son did nothing in this case? Didn't he say anything? That's her son, my ex-husband. I'm so glad you told us that it was you. I was going to have bets on how long that marriage lasted. I guess about 5-6 years. And was she the reason why? About 5-6 years. 5 years starting with this situation? Is a completely success. Marriage lasted over 15 years and 3 kids. We all knew she was a bit crazy and pretty much shook our heads in disbelief when we saw what she was wearing. People don't realize that this type of behavior looks bad for them, so they just made themselves look ridiculous. I agreed. I'm glad my parents taught me to rise above it, because I enjoyed the day without stopping to her level of petty. Mother-in-law eventually warmed up to me when she realized I had no interest in competing with her of taking her son away, although he couldn't stand his own mother. I can see this happening. Glad to know that you had a good time and did not have time for her damn foolishness. I cannot stop reading the comments. My god, how did you remain calm? I bet the guests had good laugh. That dress was a neon sign that said, I have serious issues. I agree. I like the way how the bride dealt with this, because it's not about your problem, about your ex-husband's problem. And that's it. Please subscribe my channel if you like this video. Bye bye.